Hello everyone, my name's Ollie, welcome to Top Tier Shenter, and today we're going to play the Beginner's Guide by Davey Wreden. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. He made the Stanley Parable, which, probably one of my favourite games. Hilarious. Utterly hilarious. So, let's hope this is just as enjoyable.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing the Beginner's Guide.
You're welcome.
My name is Davey Wreden. I wrote the Stanley Parable. And while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff. And his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
That's
and
really
mostly
cool.
It's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and
I was gonna say, that's supposed to be
floating
there on
crates around
purpose.
the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person.
Whoa.
And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves.
I feel like I can't talk
I want to get to know who this human being really is.
It's probably not a great game to let's play,
and
but
that's
oh well.
exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since.
Interesting.
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again.
Okay.
And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda.
I'm just going to stop there really briefly. That premise reminds me of the premise behind Marble Hornets, in which the main character comes into possession of a bunch of videotapes filmed by the character Alex. Most of them, you know, location shots and things like that for his film Marble Hornets, but they end up containing footage of Slender Man. It's interesting, you know, similarities between premise, that's all.
Yeah. So thanks for joining me on this.
Cool.
Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay. November 2008 for this one. Whoa. White room. Cool. That's quite... Whoa! Shit. Okay. Well, we have a sci-fi shooter here.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Can't zoom in with this thing. It's pretty much just going to be a point and shoot, is it? That's some Halo sound effects. Oh, I recognize those very well.
Fire the gun.
Oh yeah, there we go. Cool. Oh shit.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form.
Oh, what do we got? What do we got?
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
I'd say.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere. But then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Nope, can't go through the door.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Interesting.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin chute evacuation.
So what is this one then? This one is a sci-fi shooter.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Whoa! That's really cool. It's, you know, texture, texture, texture. Wow, that looks amazing. Grey square. That's very cool. What an interesting insight into a developer's mind. Nope, nope, can't go. Oh, hello, there, that's where we can go. Alright then. That looks like it the way that that bends looks like it should go around another corner, but it doesn't. It's quite strange. Nope.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it.
Oh god.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Well, fair enough. That's probably a
this is the part
semi-decent
that's
idea.
interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Halo sound effects.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam.
Oh, I have to sacrifice myself to stop the beam,
Much to
huh?
ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Sure. Why not? But that's what I'm being asked to do, though, isn't it? I'm sure this poses a larger question about making that sort of sacrifice, doesn't it? And
Let
I'm
me
just
pause
killed
here for
over.
a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first
Makes
compiles
sense.
and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. We just come back to the start? Can't go back through there? Okay. And we just go like this? Oh. What? Okay. Oh, there's the labyrinth. No shit. And the bottom of the universe.
The beam causes you to start floating.
And the start of the level.
And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda
God.
identifies something human about it.
That
like
is
how
surreal.
small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system.
True.
Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know.
That's
I have
poignant.
no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts
It's
of
a big
directions.
square room.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. So this is also November 2008, is it? Alright. And this is... I can't move. Oh.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, yep. I can't... Oh. The past was behind her, so... oh. Angle myself back this way a little bit. Yep, we're going in the right direction. So... Is this meant to show that this character, whoever we're playing, is constantly looking behind them? They're constantly referring to the past? And maybe it's making them anxious?
So it's a short and
the future could
relatively minimalist experiment
Couldn't be
combining
seen
motion
because
and
you're
narrative.
not looking at it, you're looking
It
at
is
the
less
past.
advanced than the previous game, but actually
cool.
it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
Very cool. The future could not be seen. Why does the future keep Oh, hello. That's interesting. When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. Oh, interesting. So when you stop and look, your future becomes clearer. Still can't walk forwards, only walk backwards. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength? Let's move that slightly. To confront
It's a
it.
short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that.
Very
Which to
awesome.
me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Oh, alright. Spooky, scary skeletons. Don't know the rest of that song. You are now entering... Bollocks! Condom, Austria.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Okay. So remember darkness, and you are now entering.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Whoa!
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
True. I can say that as a musician, that often happens with songs. Like, you can just be making one, for whatever reason, it doesn't work.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Okay, enter. So what's in the door? Not... Oh. Stand on an X staring at bear for 3 hours. Again, what the hell? Address and rally a group of eager press reporters. Live on a boat taking orders from the captain. Your captain is always wrong. The stranger appears.
And nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Wow. You play...
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
That is a good visual metaphor. That's actually a good playable metaphor. That's something I've never considered. Only video games you can really do that. Have a playable metaphor. Ooh. Ready, set, fish. Is this one? Ooh. Here we go. We're just getting the same thing on either side of that. This looks like it was pulled straight out of Half-Life, I would say. Okay.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay, let's open up. But this one doesn't open. And there is only darkness here. Oh. Nope, nothing down here. Is there something I'm missing? No. I can't see it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. What is going on? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Nope. I'm not getting this. What am I supposed to be looking for? Nope. Nope. The music is delightful, but I am not getting this puzzle. Is there supposed to be some sort of switch around here? So, what happens if I go like that? Is that open? Nope. Maybe. Let's do that. And if I go in here... Oh, there we go.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
So 3 dots on the wall there. Let me get that. Why are those there? Are they like a signature of his? Plonk. Okie dokie. Ooh.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again, so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Ooh, okay. Remove walls. Whoa! Holy shit! That is... wow. That is immense.
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Yes.
Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Yeah.